Oh, hey there, and welcome to Headphone Suggested with Brendan Dudgeon, aka that bottle of ketchup in your fridge that may or may not still be good. Headphone Suggested, this is a new podcast starring me, where I just nab one of my friends and we just talk about whatever we want to talk about for an hour. This will be fun. It's going to be weekly on Mondays. If I can keep that schedule up, hopefully I can. So let's just dive into this premiere episode, the topic of which is beginnings, because this is the beginning of this podcast, it's the beginning episode, blah, blah, blah. And for a guest this week, we have my good friend Kylie. So I'll let you listen to it. Have fun. I'll see you later.
This table's garbage.
I hate this table so much.
It's ugly. It's ugly. Beginnings.
So,
the table we're sitting on today.
This is the beginning of the podcast. This is the beginning of the rest of your life. Over and over.
Ugh.
Do you know what song that is from?
What?
Do you know what song that's from?
No.
RuPaul's The Beginning.
I don't really listen to her. I want to.
Is there a reason you hate good music?
Okay.
Before we get too far into this, what's your name?
Oh, God.
Oh, surprise. I've been recording this entire time.
My name's Kylie. Do I say my last name?
It wouldn't hurt.
My name's Kylie Arnett. I could spell
Is that
it.
how you began? Is that the name you began like?
It is.
Is it? I thought you changed names.
No, I want to. Because my dad, forced his last name upon me. And Arnett is an ugly last name.
Because your mother doesn't have the same name, correct?
No. Yeah. She technically still has her last name from her, first or her second marriage, which is Price.
I like that name. It's a good name.
It is nice.
It sounds expensive.
It does not.
Price! What's the price of that llama? $50.
When she got married to her last wife, I wanted her to combine them and be like Prada or Vice. That would have been dope.
What was the other last name?
Verada.
Like the onion?
Is there an onion?
There's a Bedelia.
Oh. But no, it should have been Cooksey.
Cooksey.
Kylie Cooksey. It's
Kylie
almost an alliteration.
So close. Well, it's the sound. It's not the
Yeah.
letter. It's the sound. So that is kind of... How old are you? When's your birthday?
All my birthdays, all 1s and 9s. January 19th, 1999. I'm a child.
01, technically 0. But we'll just go 1, 19, 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's easy to remember, except for the fact that my mom forgets it when she was there.
Is there a single parent on this planet who knows when their children's
Oh my
birthdays
God.
are? I don't think there is.
They were there. It was an important day for them.
You would think that they could remember the day, at least for the mothers, when their body exploded.
Right? And oh,
I know.
that is just
It's crazy.
a thing. We should celebrate the mothers for that. I didn't do anything
It really
that
should.
day.
Birthdays should be a day where we just put our mothers on some sort of
Throne.
throne or a bed, and we just let them sleep because they're exhausted because they've been taking care of us for the past
Too long.
20 years or so, roughly for us. January 19th. What's that zodiac?
This is fun. Technically, it is Capricorn, but I was born the day of the switch. Literally 17 minutes before the switch to Aquarius.
What time were you born?
11:43. Exactly. I know the exact time, which is a little creepy. But, I've always more identified with Aquarius as
Do you know how that whole, I'm a Taurus with a rising Virgo. I don't know how any of that works.
But I know I have sun stuff.
Your sun sign, you have your Chinese zodiac, which is a completely different
I'm a
mentality.
rabbit?
I think I'm a rabbit.
Yeah, we were from the same year, weren't we?
We're both rabbits because that goes by year. I think my sister's a rat, but I
Yeah.
always think I'm a rat. I don't know why.
I always think
get
I'm a
that mixed
monkey,
up.
which is what my dad is. Coincidentally, because I have a monkey tattoo. Didn't think about that until later.
After that permanent thing has been put on your body that you can't get rid of without multiple hundreds of dollars.
Or just tattoo over it. Just kidding. That's stupid.
No, get a bunch of monkeys and then a barrel.
No, I was thinking like
Toy
because it
Story.
kind of looks a lot like the monkeys, like the 12 monkey things, or maybe it's 100 monkeys. That like children's game where you hook monkeys together.
Yeah, Monkey in a Barrel.
Is that what that's called?
Yes.
I thought it was like 12 monkeys.
No.
But you just get those all around.
You're
there.
thinking of 5 Little Monkeys jumping on the bed. That was my favorite, like, lullaby growing up.
Oh no, my favorite lullaby was like "You Are My Sunshine." That was my jam back in the day.
That was a good one.
My mom used to torment me with "You Can't Always Get What You Want" by the Rolling Stones.
That's
I
terrible.
believe. And because I was a whiny ass little kid
Sure.
when I started in the beginning.
We're not to the topic yet. We still have to have banter. How did we meet?
College. You were wearing a hot dog
Back
suit.
in college.
Back in.
A year ago. It's been a year.
It has.
We've
almost...
known each other for almost a year.
That's weird.
And
It feels
you're
like a
genuinely
lifetime.
one of my close... Yeah, it's exhausting. I'm so sick of being around.
You were wearing a hot dog sweater.
Well, backtrack a little bit. We were both at... we were at a haunted house that our anthropology teacher gave us free tickets to go to if we wanted
which
to.
they were like $20
They
each
were
ticket.
fairly expensive. I hope she got some sort of discount
I
or
don't
the
know
school
how.
paid for. Either way, we ended up at this haunted house, and at the beginning, they were trying to sort all the people into groups, but they were shoving us into groups with people we didn't know.
Oh my god.
And I almost got shoved into your group, which is very ironic because I was fighting tooth and nail not to, just because I didn't know you at that time.
Yeah.
So I ended up in a different group. We got through the whole thing, and somehow after the gift shop at the end, we started talking.
And I had one conversation with you, and then we went to, and then we sat next to each other in Denny's.
We all just decided, let's go out to eat. It was midnight at this point.
Oh yeah.
And
Late
I
for
didn't-
you.
I did
Like
not know-
5 a.m.
oh.
for Brendan.
Way past
Bedtime.
my bedtime. By 10 o'clock, I want to be in fluffy socks and a bathrobe in bed reading the Bible. Gotta get my prayers in. Two rosaries a day.
The room is lit with candles.
It's all candles. It's pure candles.
It's a fire hazard.
It's a fire hazard. So we ended up at Denny's. We have a delicious meal. We got to know each other. And I asked you an innocent question. Are you done with your food? And you said...
I was, because it was a large burger, and I was embarrassed. Yeah, it's like 1 a.m. at this point. Times have changed.
This is a Friday?
It was a Friday.
Anyway, I asked you an innocent, sweet, pure question. Are you done with your burger? And you said you were. So I grabbed it. Which is to say, I did not pick it up. I full-on monkey fist picked this thing up, squeezed the juices and the condiments out, and dropped it. And we left.
No explanation either. Like, not like...
No explanation needed as far as I'm concerned.
That was like the first time we actually had an interaction.
It really was, because we didn't really talk to each other the
Yeah,
entire
we
night.
hadn't. Like,
I didn't know...
I was like, nice sweater.
You live... At the time, you lived all in the same... You and another girl, Lily, that we were with, all lived with my friend, Katie, who was not there. And I did not know until the end of the night that you lived with her.
I thought you knew.
Nope.
You just thought we were
I asked you at the
strangers.
end of the night, I'm like, you know Katie? And you're like, yeah, we live with her.
Yeah.
So, that's how we ended the night. I squeezed your burg.
And I was entranced ever since.
Yeah,
Just-
best friends ever since.
It was a really captivating moment. When did we, like, hang out alone the first time? I think it was when...
You came over.
Because I locked myself out. Was that day?
No, that was, you came over to hang out with my roommate, or did you come over for Mario night first?
Mario night.
It was Mario night
I
first.
have invited myself over.
You guys just came over with your Wii and a ton of games, but we couldn't play a lot of them because you don't have a sensor for your Wii.
I don't.
Which
Still.
debilitates most of the purpose of having a Wii.
Yeah.
So the only game we could play, Super
Party.
Mario Party.
Yeah.
Which was great. It was
Which
great.
I had never played before.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't remember who won. It definitely was not
It was me.
Was it?
Yep.
Look at
because
you.
because here's the Cicerone with extra cheese. I was playing with Lily, who I thought was a lesbian.
Yeah.
Because of her haircut. Which
Yeah,
is
so short.
very rude of me to assume.
But no.
But I kept asking, do you want to play? And she kept saying, no, I'm good. And I won. And I've been holding it over your head ever since, 1 year later.
You have like...
Because you know why? I'm better than you.
Because I won that one game of chance.
I won. Yeah, literally, it's all chance.
It's like...
It's just who happens to have the most coins at the end and who happen to win the most games.
randomly land on a thing after spinning a dice. That game was ridiculous. No skill.
There's no skill.
If you're playing Wii Bowling, you move it 2 to the right.
Yeah.
And it usually gives you
always a strike.
Yeah.
There's ways around it.
I mean, some people do all the fancy stuff where they like angle it. And,
I like to angle it so that I throw it into the other person's lane, and then I strike out on their lane, but then I don't get any points.
I'll throw it behind you.
That's always fun. Whoa. If anyone has never played Wii Bowling, they have no idea what we're talking about. It's my dad's listening to this, and he understands because that was the one game he could figure out on the Wii.
Bowling?
I love
Wii
Guitar
sports.
Hero.
Oh, I can never play Guitar Hero.
I love Guitar Hero.
I have to sit with the guitar on my lap and boop the buttons like I'm a 3-year-old.
That's a great way. That's a good segue into the topic. Today's topic, as I mentioned before, is beginnings, because it's the beginning of this podcast. So, I'm going to ask you a question related to the beginning. Beginning of your life, what was the first video game you ever played?
Ooh,
on like a console or an arcade game?
We didn't really go to arcades because, poor.
They didn't exist. Well, they just kind of didn't exist.
Yeah, it was like a roller rink, maybe.
Yeah, that happened to have like skee ball.
Yeah. My first video game was on a Nintendo GameCube, and that I still have to this day, and that was when I was like 6, and it was Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64.
A Legends of Zelda game, correct?
Yes, and which I never finished when I was a kid because my brother would always delete my save files. Always.
Aww. That was a solid console.
Yeah.
The GameCube. I always liked it. My neighbor had one, and I punched him once because he was better than me. He's okay. He's doing way better than I ever will right now.
He lived through it somehow.
He made friends in high school. I just forced people to talk to me.
You didn't have a life before high school.
I didn't have a life before high school. I was just in the basement eating ravioli with no sauce, just the pasta.
But they're all empty inside.
Yeah.
Just like you were.
Full of air. How dare you. My first video game, thank you for asking, was Guitar Hero World Tour, I believe it was. It was Guitar Hero World Tour.
So bad.
And it was at my mom's cousin's wedding. And we were at like a resort for the reception. Fun fact, at that reception, during that whole like clinking the glass so that the bride and groom kiss, I was watching them while I was clinking, and then I couldn't hear clinks. I had cracked the wine glass, and my mom just put the shards in the glass that was still there and just moved it down the table.
Weddings are weird.
Weddings are very weird.
Beginning
of a life with another. My sister's getting married next weekend.
Oh my god. And you're going?
Yep.
Do you need a ride to the airport, by the way?
No. I'm leaving Friday night and coming back Sunday afternoon, so I'm just gonna...
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for that wedding.
I love weddings. I think they're so fun. Despite the fact that I
hate weddings and I don't believe in marriage.
Get married, I do have a wedding planned. Just in case it just falls into my lap.
Just in case, against all odds, someone decides that you're tolerable enough to marry. I think
the biggest things in a wedding that makes it enjoyable for other people is food. You have to have good food and good drinks.
Yeah.
And then
open bar people.
You
pay
have
the
to
expense.
Like really pick a playlist. Like you can't. It can't just be 2000s hits.
No.
It's got to be like centered to you, centered to your friend group and your family, but also food. Let's not brush over the food. Food
is important. My cousin had a wedding this past summer. He had the best pork chop I've ever had ever. It was very moist.
The last wedding I went to, and not to like judge gluten-free and vegan people, but not everyone at that wedding was gluten-free or vegan. Also,
was that their meal?
Yeah,
what did you eat? Grass?
I didn't eat any of it.
Celery with like vegan peanut butter?
They also didn't have any drinks. They had that were non-alcoholic. So as a child, I couldn't drink anything but water. It's like I was not the only kid there. There were like plethoras of children.
Every wedding, by law, should have an open alcoholic bar and an open soda system.
Ugh.
And they should have both companies of soda, Pepsi and Coke, and have the diet option of every drink, except root beer. Root beer's worth it.
And it's not like this was like a cheap wedding either. They had like fancy doilies and stuff. They could afford it.
How do you feel about, speaking of weddings, a woman, I read this on the news, she sent out her invitations. The wedding cost $60,000.
Oh, God. No.
And as the bride, she asked every invite, so like every RSVP, she asked that they respond with $1,500.
Are you kidding?
To attend.
Is this a wedding for billionaires?
People RSVP. 8.
That's a lot more.
She canceled her wedding. They broke up 4 days before the wedding.
That's, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know she paid for like a lot of stuff. First of all, you want to start the beginning of a marriage, $60,000 in debt?
Exactly. Or just like having thrown away $60,000.
Yeah. Like, I can't imagine that. I always imagine, like, if I do get married, to save up for, like, at least 2 years for it.
My thing also with weddings, it should not cost guests a cent to attend. There should not be an admittance fee or an RSVP fee.
No parking fees.
Don't do a destination wedding, and don't have your wedding on a major holiday. That's all I ask of you.
Because also your wedding anniversary, then you also have to share it with another date. Don't do it on her birthday, your birthday, anniversaries, nothing.
Nothing.
Not Christmas, not Valentine's Day.
No,
who wants to vomit?
Ugh. Well, because also it's like, if that marriage doesn't end up working out, you're gonna hate Valentine's Day for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
And what if you already don't like it to begin with?
You can just like pop a couple NyQuils and sleep all day on June 5th.
I took ZQuil last night for the first time. It was amazing.
Oh, it's such a nice sleep.
I was zonked.
I took NyQuil the other day too.
It's great
for sleeping.
I boiled it, made some meth. Here I am.
Oh God, is that how they make?
I don't know. You need cough syrup. I think.
Don't know.
Fun fact: at the beginning of my life, when I was a child, my mother, my sister, my dad, and my mom and I, all 4 of us, were all sick. My dad doesn't take medicine because he doesn't believe in it. The rest of us were downing cough syrup like it was water,
like
and we were in the
Little
Sahara. Yeah. So my mother had to drive a half an hour to the nearest Walmart, and she had done this twice already that day, or she had done it every day for the past 2 days, and she was going to get the third, and they wouldn't give it to her because you couldn't buy it.
Yeah.
You can't buy that much within a certain amount of time.
No, that happened because me and my mom both have horrible allergies. That happened to us with
Sudafed.
No, it starts with a
OxyContin.
C. It's for allergies.
Chrysler's.
Allergy
Crystal meth.
medicine. Allergies.
Claritin.
Claritin D. Yeah, apparently you can make drugs from it. I don't know how.
I feel like you can make a drug out of anything.
A Pop-Tart. 3 cents. Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't talk about this. My aunt's listening. My cousins are listening.
Cut.
That's canceled. Turn back time. Thank you, Cher. Where did you begin life?
Us. Ohio.
Dirty old Ohio.
Yeah, in like one of the worst cities in Ohio, too. And everyone from that city won't get offended because they all know. It's well known. It's not their fault.
Things like that are
fault.
rarely anyone's fault.
Yeah.
It's kind of just the world's
city,
fault.
maybe. The government officials. I'll blame them. Springfield, Ohio. In a hospital that actually got torn down because they built a new one for no reason. It would cost the city millions, I'm sure. I don't know. But I have a brick from it. And like...
Ooh.
My mom... It was her second pregnancy, so you'd think she'd know what she was doing. She did not, because the first one was like induced. So she goes to the bathroom. She thinks she pees. She stands up, and she pees again. No, because a lot of people don't know this. Your water just keeps refilling. Like when it breaks.
Some women's water doesn't break at all.
Yeah, they have to pop it themselves. I always imagine they just put like
and
a
the
needle
epidural can kill you if they do it wrong. Or it can paralyze you.
Yeah. But
if they poke
also
you wrong, because they
necessary.
stick it in your spine. Any woman who is proud of herself for getting through labor, I shouldn't say this, I'm a man and I'm never going to have to deal with this issue. You're not better than anyone because you didn't take the pain meds. Take the pain meds. Oh my God.
Like, whenever someone tells me, I'm like, you're dumb. Why would you want to suffer?
I commend any woman who took the meds. Mm-hmm. Go for it. That's what they're there for.
Yeah. I love living in the 21st century. Yeah. I like having modern medicine.
I don't know if my grandma said it or if a grandmother on television said it, but pain meds for childbirth was a belt between your teeth at one point. Take the epidural.
Yeah. But yeah, she like screamed for her friend and like, cause she's like, I'm just peeing myself over and over again. And she's like, you had a baby before, like your water broke. And this,
it's not like that scene in Baby Mama.
I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I will tell a few highlights. So they drive in my dad's car and they get to the hospital and they give my mom the meds and she's like feeling loopy and she's like, this feels amazing.
What's the street name for this?
Do you think they do? People do epidurals? And like,
I would bet there's morphine out there.
Yeah,
you want to try? What are you doing this weekend?
Oh God.
You want to check the black market for morphine?
No.
Dark web?
Oh my God, I'd be so afraid.
Deep web?
I'd be afraid that they'd just steal my life. But
I am sometimes afraid to go to the gas station in pajama pants. I don't think that I have the nerve to check out the black market. Yeah. Where is the black market? Is it like a farmer's market, but everyone's dressed all emo?
I don't think it exists anymore. I say this, and then we're both going to get abducted. But like,
this is the first and last episode because we're both going to get kidnapped by
the
black market.
End. That should be the title. But then then the pain hits, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And the camera shuts off. And then later, my dad's friend takes the car and like parks in a different spot in the hospital, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, you spilt something in your car. I cleaned it up for you." And my dad gets like the biggest grin on his face and is like, "That wasn't soda. That was her amniotic fluid." And my dad's friend turned so green and puked everywhere. Like the nurses.
Because he didn't use gloves and nothing.
Oh no. He had it all over him. And the nurses were like screaming at him because he just...
It's natural.
He puked in a room with a baby. Like a new baby. Me.
Starring you.
And like, he had to be like taken out and like someone sat him down and like got him water because he was so horrified that he touched baby goo.
It's probably so, like a nurse is probably just like, are you kidding me? That's like the least disgusting thing I've touched all day.
Oh my God, because you just poop yourself when you're giving birth.
Very common.
That is horrifying to me. And it's not a big deal. People just like, they pull down the sheet and take it away.
Have you heard a description of a cesarean section?
Oh my God, they put your organs in a bowl.
They cut you out and
next to you.
Excuse me, I just burped. My friend Taryn, you know her.
Yes.
Was saying her father is an EMT, so she knows a lot about medical stuff. They have to hook your intestines on a hook because they will crawl back into your body because they have a sort of muscle memory. This might be too graphic. Yeah. It's
wild. I also commend anyone who like has to do that, but why would you choose to do that? Like, I get vaginal birth sounds scary.
It's painless.
But then you have that gnarly scar. It's like I don't know.
Nothing wrong with a C-section scar. Shaming women?
No.
No.
I'm just saying that
you personally
that sounds more horrifying to me than taking out your organs.
Thankfully, don't.
What if they just drop
to consider that question?
Yeah, isn't that nice?
To be a man.
You have like an act, and then like you get a whole baby.
I have one question to think about before birth. Do I want to sit down and watch or stand up and watch? That's the one question I have.
I'm sorry. If your wife or your girlfriend or whomever,
you stand up and you hold her hand, and if she squeezes, you don't
gag,
grimace.
You don't.
No.
You stand there and you let her break your hand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is your job. Also, the entire time she's pregnant, you are her slave.
Oh yeah.
She's carrying a human. Like, that is wild.
She's creating a person.
Out of her.
She's not just creating organs and skin cells and bones. She's creating a personality. Mm-hmm. Soon to be a capsule for memories and dreams and hopes.
And you know what? She's also creating back pain.
Back pain and swollen feet. And you know what? She's gorgeous throughout the entire thing.
Oh my god! Your like hair gets thicker. You're
glowing.
You're glowing. Your nails
You're
get thicker.
absolutely glowing, sweetie.
But then you also feel like you have a watermelon up in you.
That is something interesting. You can put on as many of those fake baby bumps as you want, like men. Yeah. But there's no way
you can feel
that
your
you can
organs
possibly
moving.
know what it actually feels like to be pregnant. You can understand the pain in your back. You can understand the pain in your knees. You can understand even maybe the mood swings that comes with something like that. But you will never understand what it's like to carry a person in your body.
Yeah, because your organs have to move. There was like this amazing like GIF for it. Like it shows and it shows your organs just up and out of the way, and that's horrifying.
It's terrifying.
That your organs are just like, oop, let me just skip.
But it's also
by.
just like you're designed to do that though. So it's both terrifying, but it's also like this makes so much sense.
It's amazing. It's also like weird if you like think about it conceptually. Like it's just a weird thing. Like if someone wasn't a human and you like pitched them birth, and they would be like, "Oh my god, like what do you go through?" Just because
even like egg-laying animals, what are those called?
Like birds? I don't know what
avian.
They're called. Non-mammals.
Non-mammals. Well, platypuses are mammals. Anyway.
Do they?
They do. Platypuses. Have you not seen a single episode of Phineas and Ferb?
I don't like Phineas.
The platypus is.
Does he give birth?
He does in one episode. I don't think it's actually his, but they do think he gave birth. The platypus is the only mammal that lays eggs.
Detective?
Agent P. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's funny is there's agents A through Z, but there's only one animal for each letter, so they only have 26 agents.
What a small agency.
I know.
Maybe they have numbers too.
No, they don't, because they have agent. I don't know. I'm not too well versed on the
lore.
I'm not too caught up on the lore of Phineas and Ferb. I do know that it was the longest running Disney Channel animated television show.
It was popular.
It was very popular. I liked it. Then I grew up.
I never watched it.
I do remember there was one episode where Candace did finally catch, like she got her mom to catch them, and they got sent to creativity conversion camp where they just beat the creativity out of you.
What a wet blanket.
Turns out she was dreaming.
Oh, I hate
stuff like that so much.
But I hate her. Like, your brothers are amazing.
She's having a good time.
You could
hang out with them. See what happens.
You could have an amazing life.
Because here's the thing. She's not worried about their safety. She's not worried about their health. She's not even worried if they're doing their summer reading. She is just simply obsessed with the idea of getting her brothers in trouble. Mm-hmm. That's it.
As a sibling.
Something my sister can probably attest to.
I feel that. But also, like, you could use that to your advantage so perfectly.
Also, you're telling me that your brothers build a roller coaster and your first thought is not sweet free roller coaster?
Yeah. They could build you, like, things. They could build you anything. They're like...
They didn't even go to college yet. Imagine what they could do.
They built a time machine.
They built a time machine.
Like, they could do anything. They could give you a money dispenser. Like... Yeah.
They could solve climate change.
Be nice to them. They'll give you stuff. They were nice people.
Yeah.
They were nice kids. Just be nice to them. Don't rat on them. Don't be a little snitch.
Well, I believe they go to the future in one episode, and older Candace tells Candace to cool it. She's like, calm down. Let them have fun. You're being
do you think
crazy.
It's because they died?
No. No, because one of Candace's kids says, Mom... Is that Aunt Isabella's kid? And then Isabella's like, Aunt Isabella? That means I marry Ferb. That means I marry Phineas. And then someone's like, or Ferb. And then Ferb looks at her and he just winks. And she's kind of nice about it. She's not too mean, which is very nice.
What if Ferb steals Phineas's girl in like the teen years? Do you think they'll do that? Like teen, like they did it with Rugrats? Where the Rugrats
all
were
grown up.
I loved that show.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I aspired to be everyone in that group.
They were a good group.
They were all stoners.
Oh, you know they were.
They were basically canon stoners. They all wore beanies and Jenko jeans.
Yeah. Except for probably Chucky. He'd be too nervous.
They'd get him
It's me.
Oh yeah. Do you identify with characters like that? Like Chucky? Buzzkills? That you might say? I'm just kidding.
It's not. You're not, though. I kind of do. I was Arnold in the Magic School Bus. I was 100%
oh my god.
Chucky in Rugrats.
Can we talk about how awful Arnold was? You get to go inside of a human body. You get to go to Neptune.
He actually didn't go into the human body. It was his body that they went into.
Oh, you get to go to Neptune.
They went down to his bowels.
Ooh.
They showed defecation.
Did they?
In that program. They went down to the large intestine, otherwise known as the colon, otherwise known as your butthole. And there was just a dark material coming out of the walls for some reason. I wonder what that is. And for some reason, they got all the way down there, and they had to go back up through the mouth.
Ew. Think about that.
They went in through the nose, they went down to the small intestine, or large intestine, excuse me. Then they went back up and out through the mouth.
Think about that, though. They traced fecal matter all throughout his body. That has to, mess you up in some way.
That's the thing. They also, at one point, went into a pie. This also relates to the theme because these were shows that we watched at the beginning of our life. Mm-hmm. They went into a pie at one point, which was put into an oven. They would have died.
Oh, yeah.
A pie is baked at almost 450 degrees.
Didn't they fly around the sun?
They go into space at one point.
They've gone into space multiple times.
Frizz loses Arnold at one point and just is like, oh, well, maybe we'll find him.
Yeah. Arnold, first of all, he would have died, but, he took off his helmet on Neptune. That would have straight up.
Why do you think he hates field trips so much? This was the first episode.
Okay, but why do you get to go to Neptune? I'm sorry, is that not the coolest thing you've ever done? Your life is infinitely... but also you peaked at 8.
That's the thing about all these kids. They peaked, and you know they peaked.
What was that kid that was a doofus?
The Ralphie.
Yeah, that was me.
You are Ralphie. You're Ralphie, and in the Rugrats universe, you're both Dill and Will. Mm-hmm. Both of them.
I've always wanted to be Angelica, but I'm not mean enough yet.
Not to that point in life.
Aspirations.
What movies did you watch growing up?
I wasn't allowed to have princess movies.
You didn't.
Because I told my mom when I was 4 that I was just going to marry a rich man and not go to college. That didn't work out. So I had Fern Gully, Bug's Life, and Mulan, which are still my favorite movies, though I could not tell you the plot of Bug's Life.
Was there a plot?
I don't know.
I believe the grasshoppers tried to take over.
Did they?
Yeah. Because I went to Disney World and I was forced to go on the... I was forced to go into the 4D showing of A Bug's Life, which is just basically a 15-minute
they throw
edited
bugs
down. They do. They do this thing at the end where they say, "Please remain seated while all small guests leave first," and then your seat underneath it pokes you in different spots, and it feels like bugs are running underneath you.
Okay, so they didn't actually throw bugs.
No. But at one point, there's a tree stump that opens up, and the giant grasshopper enemy pops out, and in that moment, I went on the ground.
Grasshoppers are invasive. They try to go in your mouth.
I know. At one point, near the beginning of my life, I went on a camping trip. And my parents refused to stay in hotels. We only stayed in cabins. In KOA.
Fake camping, as they call it in every other part of the world.
KOA campsites and cabins. And one of them had a mini golf course, which is one of my favorite activities. Mini golf and bowling, my 2 favorite activities. Because they're sports activities, but they require the least amount of effort.
No effort.
No effort at all. And the entire campground was covered in grasshoppers. You would take a step, and it's like, you know when you walk down the street in the fall and you kick up leaves?
Yeah.
It was like that, but with crickets.
That's horrifying.
And I asked my parents, can I not leave the cabin? Because there were no crickets in there, or grasshoppers in there. And they're like, no, come outside and suffer.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Cicadas are really bad in Ohio, which is where I grew up. And towards the beginning of my life, I was in Boy Scouts because I didn't want to do anything my brother didn't do. So I was in Boy Scouts, and all the boys hated me. They hated me. Because I was a girl invading their space or whatever. So they all chased me down and shoved cicada shells in my mouth.
Oh, how many? Like a mouthful?
A couple.
Oh.
Less than 5, more than 2.
That's wretched. How did it taste?
Oh, crunchy and salty.
But so like a sunflower seed.
No, like lighter than that. Like puffed air.
It's like popcorn.
Yeah, like really thin.
Puffcorn.
Like kind of like a rice cake.
A rice cake, except that it's bugs.
Except for that it's salty bugs.
That's a great selling point. Rice cakes, kind of like bugs.
You don't like them.
I like a rice cake, but I just can only eat one bite.
So my mom was like a big hippie, so we had a lot of rice cakes because my mom was like, no sugar for some reason.
I don't know if I ever told you this. I was vegetarian for 2 weeks once.
You did.
And my mother, God bless her, went out to the store the day I told her and bought me vegetarian treat options.
That's so nice.
Isn't that nice? One of which was 4 packs of rice cakes. And I ate them all.
That's a lot of rice cakes. That your body was filled.
Yeah.
My mom, towards the beginning of my life, I'm just gonna keep saying that.
You gotta keep on task.
Would feed us fake chicken nuggets. I don't know why, because it's not like they couldn't have been cheaper, but maybe they were healthier.
Chicken, I shouldn't say that. That'll sound weird.
And we ate them because we didn't know any better. And then we went to a friend's house and had like real chicken nuggets, and we were like, oh my God.
It's like
Mom,
when
buy these. They're
you go to
so
a friend
better.
who like their mom puts vegetables in the brownies to hide them, and you're just like, these taste like dirt.
Oh my God. Yeah. And especially in the town I grew up, it was a lot of hippie moms. So like it'd be like, this is a quinoa brownie, and it's like
I have a headache. Smear this essential oil all
my
over
God.
your forehead. That won't do anything.
Oh, herbal drinks are the worst.
Oh, my sister got influenza. Thanks. And me and my dad and my sister had to take this disgusting medicine. It tasted like what I imagine Sharpie ink tastes like. My mom didn't have to take it. She got a flu shot. I asked if I could get a flu shot. They wouldn't let me.
Begged.
I did. I was like, can I please get the flu shot? I would vomit every time I took the medicine. And then as a treat, I got a mini Snickers.
Nice. My mom would make us take like fish oil pills, which give you like the nastiest little fish burps for the rest of the day.
And you take them in the morning. So
and
it's
like
just every day for
B
solid.
vitamins, which taste really bad to me.
Did you have to take calcium?
I don't know. Probably.
No, you would know. Calciums are like the size of a quarter.
Oh no.
And they're thick. They're like a solid half-inch thick.
But
they're huge.
Health things in general. Turmeric pills taste like dusty sand.
Turmeric, that's the thing they use to make yellow paint, I believe. Yeah. It's
also very common in like Indian food. It's bright.
It looks like a rotten mustard. Yeah.
I don't know if it has a taste. I just know it's in a lot of Indian food, and I love Indian food.
I assume it has a taste. What else are they putting in it?
Color? I don't know.
I personally, I don't like pepper in my eggs, but the thing is, no one ever puts enough pepper in the egg to constitute a taste. It's just appearance.
I disagree. I load everything with pepper.
But you load it.
Yeah. I hate people who do like
my Aunt Janine put 1 sprinkle of pepper. She's not a real person. Put 1 sprinkle of pepper in there, and she's like, "Oh, it makes it taste great." You can't taste it. All you can get is a gritty crunch. You know what I don't want my eggs to have? A crunch.
You also don't like spices.
Though. I don't. I hate salt.
That I think salt.
It's too spicy. I can't eat Doritos sometimes.
Salt's like a baseline. Like you need it. It's not the only thing.
Really, I do like salt. I like and on my fries, I like salty fries.
Oh, me too. If fries don't have salt,
I will
they taste
empty a
like
thing into my fries.
like dirt.
Yeah.
Fries are bad without salt, but pepper is also necessary. Other flavors are necessary.
I don't think it is. I think pepper, it tastes like dust.
I think it tastes like good. Like I always.
Granted, I felt for the longest time like coffee tastes like dirt, and now I drink coffee. But granted, it's 50%
You just need
creamer.
to start like spiking your food with pepper, just slowly
Ew.
build up.
I eat eggs and fish sticks.
I'm sure fish sticks have pepper in them. Just dip them.
No.
Dip them in a bowl of pepper. Dip them in a bowl
In
of pepper.
Sweden, they have candies that are salt and pepper covered chocolate.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Though in like Mexico, they have these amazing. I lived in Texas for a while. They have these amazing like lollipops covered in chili powder, and those are
Yes, I've seen those.
And I could just eat the chili powder.
That's the thing about other countries. Their candies are
Much
like
interesting.
50% not candy because
Yeah.
other countries are shocked and disgusted at the
Sweet.
amount of sugar that we put in our. Did you ever? I'm sure you went to a much larger school than I did, so I assume you had exchange students.
I did. We didn't have any fun ones. We had like, oh, a girl from Norway. And it's like, okay.
Because Norway isn't fun.
No,
You racist.
it's just like she spoke English and her life was pretty similar to ours.
We always got Germans.
Weird. We never
We got Germans a lot, and German exchange students would come, and often we'd feed them like a Snickers, and they could only have like one bite, or they get a stomachache.
Yeah.
Because it's pure sugar.
It is.
Our candy is pure sugar.
It's like
Sugar is
incredible.
candy is something you eat at the beginning of your life.
Yeah.
As a child.
Which I didn't do often.
I was not a child.
You were not.
I was
Came out full grown.
Poor
mother.
I'm Benjamin Button.
God, did he? I never.
So I'm actually close to death.
I've never seen that movie. The beginning. Did he come out small old man, or was it a full old man?
I did watch that movie, but it was at the point in time where during the summer I would sleep during the day and be awake all night, and I had to play that night, and my sister and my mom were ushering because you'd get free tickets, and I was asleep on the couch watching Benjamin Button while my sister was screaming at my mother for not having clothes, which she 100% did. So I was in and out during that entire film.
I didn't. See
So I
the
don't
beginning.
know. Long way of saying I don't know.
He turns into a baby. At the
I
end.
believe he was born a baby, but then just like aged vigorously.
I think he was a wrinkly baby.
Let's look it up.
What are you gonna look up? Begin.
Benjamin Button, baby boy.
But they're gonna show you the baby.
I'm not
version.
gonna look it up.
Nope, it's gone.
How did you begin school? I didn't go to preschool.
I didn't either. I don't think it was a thing back in
It
the
was,
day.
what's happening now is that preschools are being built to be free childcare.
Yeah, which is nice.
Which is why there's like 3 steps before kindergarten now. Which is why
Yeah.
your kid goes to school and they're like,
I
2
started
years
in
old.
kindergarten. I know my mom was like doing something and couldn't take me to my first day, which she was like so upset over. But my aunts took me, and like I have a bunch of pictures with them. My aunt and then my mom's friend took me, and I remember kindergarten was a fine time for me. I don't know why, but they held me. They tried to hold me back, and I had to take summer school in kindergarten.
That's ridiculous.
Which is like,
well, you probably just didn't learn all your colors or something.
yeah, it was weird. But I remember the most memorable day of kindergarten. And like everything else is a blur, basically. But I had eaten, it was like a party day. And I had eaten a lot of like sugar and like stuff that I normally hadn't gotten at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ooh, I gotta go throw up. And I walk, and the bathrooms are past the like spot where all the kids put their backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk, and as soon as I get near the backpacks, I projectile vomit everywhere.
Oh.
All over everyone's backpacks.
Wow.
And
So
thankfully,
you made a name for yourself on the first day.
No, all the kids were outside, and the teacher covered for me and was like, somebody vomited on them, but not Kylie.
I cried on my first day of school. Not because I was away from my parents. I actually walked to school on my own.
Oh, God.
My sister and I
Oh, okay.
walked to school because my parents are teachers. So while I'm at school, they're at work.
Mm-hmm.
But at my school, since it was so small, about 12 kids per class, and it only went from kindergarten to 6th grade, so maybe 80 kids in the entire school. You just sit in the entryway until the bell rings, then you can go to your locker. But if you're in kindergarten, your lockers were right there. So what you would do is you just go to the room, and then you'd put your stuff away, and then just learn school. On the first day of school, my dad had taught me how to write my name before I went to school, but he taught me how to write it in all capitals. So my teacher handed out this, like, getting to know you type thing, and I wrote my name in all capitals. And my teacher came by, she said, "Oh, no, write those in lowercase." And I started crying. I've always hated critique. I came out fighting.
That's really bad quality you have.
I came out fighting the man. I was born, and the doctor said, "It's a boy," and I said, do you want to double check? That sounds...
Yeah.
I'm resistant to authority. That's what I'm trying to say.
He slapped you on the bottom and you're like, "Hey.
Stop that.
Cut it out, mister."
But yeah, I cried, and then I got my card pulled. Do you understand what that means?
Oh, yeah. Like
I got punished.
Yeah.
We had... Every teacher had a different way of doing it every year. And ours, it was just a pocket full of X's, and every time you pulled one, it was 3 strikes and you're out. If you got pulled 3 times in one day, you got a detention. I was the only kid that entire month to ever get a card pulled. Because I cried.
You're a rebel.
Because I cried.
Yeah, that is weird.
I got punished for having emotions. Thanks. No, she was a very nice lady. I'm related to her. I have to say that. No, I really liked her.
I liked my kindergarten teacher. I don't remember her name at all.
I remember every single teacher I've ever had. Granted, I've been to technically one school.
I remember every teacher I've had, except for my first one. I cannot remember.
How many schools did you go to?
Only... Okay, so I went to 2 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and then 1 high school. So a lot.
Yeah,
and then
technically I've gone to 1 school my entire life, except I went to the Catholic school, which was separate, but it was under the... Stop it. I went to the Catholic school, which was under kind of the guise and control of the public school, but it still had its own, like, management. But then that school only went to 6th grade, so 7th grade I went to my other school. So there were kids I've been to school with from kindergarten to senior year.
That's wild, seeing those people, like, grow and, like...
Yeah, graduation was an emotional day.
Well, I don't like you, Billy, because in 1st grade you threw that block at my head.
Facts are facts, America. There's a kid I never spoke to because he made fun of my haircut in kindergarten.
Oh my god. That is a long time to hold a grudge.
Have you met me?
Yes.
That's half of what I am. It's just grudges.
I had crushes, like, not like actual crushes, but, like, I just loved every teacher I've ever had. Like, obviously not everyone, but in elementary school, I was just infatuated with all of them. I was fully a teacher's pet. Like, I would just sit right next to them and, like, be like, "Kiss me, hold me." I called them mom and stuff. Like, I was so attached to
in
all
5th
of them.
grade, I would watch The Nanny every night, and then the next day I would tell my teacher about it. And she loved it. The only thing she would ever say in response was, "Oh, I love The Nanny." Every single time. I'd tell her the entire plotline of the entire episode in a 5-second synopsis, and she'd be like, "Oh, I love The Nanny." She's a great... I love her.
It'd be like a 30-word thing, but, like, you'd say it in 5 seconds.
So fast. So fast.
What'd you do in, like, elementary school? Like, what was your playtime thing?
I mainly gossiped on the playground.
Oh my god.
I was the kid that went around and told, Kimmy just said this about you, Tabitha.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever get caught for all that? Like, called out?
I was regularly sitting next to the recess person.
Because you were just a little ear.
I was a little gossip.
I
which has stayed with me to this day.
Really?
I am a snake. I know one thing that could ruin every single person's life that I've ever met.
Do you know me? Do you know one thing about me? What is it? I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you. What's the point in telling you?
It's my third nipple.
The one on your back.
Yeah. It's a full one, too. It's not just the tissue. No, I would play make-believe all recess long. Like, we were always, like, fairies or something, and, like, in the woods, or we were housewives. And I would never play a man. which was rude of me. I was so bossy of people around me, especially, but I would always have like a husband in the scenarios, and it'd always be a girl. I'd be like, no, you're a man today. And I feel bad for all the people that like probably wanted to turn being the wife.
Yeah.
No.
During children's theater, and I was later told this because I think I blocked it out. Children's theater was just like a 2-week long little camp that we would just spend a week and a half putting a play together, and on Thursday in the second week we would present it. And the lady who later became my director in high school told me senior year how she remembers watching me during our break time, which is about 15 minutes. You get one cookie and a Dixie cup full of apple juice. She would watch me put on little like mini plays with the costume box they would put out, but it was just me. And she remembered thinking, we should get this kid some friends.
Oh my god. You didn't have any friends in your little theater group?
I wasn't a friend. I was a very quiet kid.
I was not.
I made friends later in high school.
I was like...
I liked them more.
The annoying little kid who'd always run up to the big older kids and be like, talk to me, hang out with me. I'll be your best friend.
See, I was just a kid that sat in the corner.
And they would all just
reading
stand
my books.
Like a circle of me and laugh at me.
I regularly brought a book to recess. Weird. And I would read on the concrete.
No.
And then someone would come up to me and say, hey, did someone say this about me? And I was like, yes, they did. Because that's the thing, I have a very friendly face that anyone can make conversation with, and everyone told me their secrets. My business is secrets.
That's why her hair's so big.
It's full of secrets.
Yeah, we were both in children's theater in the beginnings of our lives, which is honestly like a big thing that shaped like who I am.
Oh, definitely.
And how dramatic I am.
I was slandered in the media once.
What?
While telling about my children's theater experience. I was interviewed senior year for this little thing called Kids Chronicle, which was just one thing every year where every 6th grader in the town would pair up and they'd write an article, and it was just a mini separate paper. It just kind of taught, responsibility and like getting things done. You got like a whole year to do it. And one kid interviewed me, and I was telling her about children's theater, and I jokingly said, my parents didn't know what to do with me, so they just kicked me out, and I ended up in children's theater. A complete joke. But in the article, it reads something along the lines of, Brendan was abandoned as a child and took refuge in children's theater.
Oh my gosh.
And
that girl knows how to spin a story.
She really does.
Reader Skeeta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. It was very funny.
And also, too, in your tiny town, it's probably the talk of the town.
Oh.
I don't know if I've ever actually been in the paper of my local town.
I have 3 shoeboxes full of clippings of me in newspapers.
You know what's annoying? I was in children's theater so much more than my brother. My brother was only in like Mills, like the school putting on the plays. He was in the news or like the town paper for doing a play, and I wasn't. I was in like 50 plays, and he was in like 2.
I was in a community theater production of The Sound of Music. I was one of the Von Trapp kids, and I got interviewed for that. That was fun. Wow. How interesting.
What was your first play again?
My very first play was technically... one that I chose to audition for was The Sound of Music. And I was a Von Trapp kid. Other than that, it was like school productions and children's theater.
Did you like learn all your lines? Or did you have any lines?
I had quite a few. Not quite a few. I had a few lines. There was one line, though, that I never learned. And the girl that played Liesl Von Trapp, like the oldest Von Trapp kid, would wait like a half a beat to see if I was going to get it. Because I always forgot it. And then she would say it because I always forgot it.
You couldn't like write that on your hand?
I couldn't remember it. I don't know why. I couldn't remember to say it.
Every time.
I didn't have stage fright. I've always had stage fright, but it's only for the first like 2 minutes you're on stage. This was like halfway through the show, and I couldn't remember the flippin' word.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, Father, thank you. That's it.
I hate when like you notice someone else has missed one word because you've learned everyone else's lines, and you're like, what the heck, Timothy? You're supposed to say, will I, not I.
That's the thing. when lines get learned incorrectly and you're just like, that line has been wrong this entire time, but I don't want to be the one that's like, you're saying this one word incorrectly.
But it just eats away at your soul.
There was, when I was in The Little Mermaid, there was Disney's The Little Mermaid. They'll sue me. I don't own Disney.
You don't?
I don't. Shockingly enough. I'm not Brendan Disney. I would kill for that last name. But it's that scene right before Poor Unfortunate Souls where Ariel sees Ursula for like the first time. And there's a line that me and Flounder are supposed to say, and it was just, Ursula. That's it. Never said it. Never rehearsed it. Never figured out the stage blocking for it. That just was lost into the mythos of the universe.
I hate when people when directors cut so many lines and change
My director
lines.
never cut a single line.
Oh my god.
That just never got done. We just
mine
missed
would do
it.
it all the time. And it was this is kind of changing the whole scene. If you want to do a short play, do a short play. There's thousands of short plays.
We're at time here. We've been talking for a solid hour.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
It feels like
Thank
forever.
you for being here at the beginning. I don't know if we said that word enough through this entire
What was the
episode.
word again? One more
beginning.
time.
Can I get a B? There's one B.
Can I get a spelling on that?
Vanna, can you tap the screen that you no longer do anything to change the letter for? That's... Before she would have to, turn.
Who is she?
Vanna White is the woman who turns the letters on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, I never watched it.
Who I thought was married to the host of Wheel of Fortune. Nope.
Isn't she half his age?
Yeah. But before, when the show started, they would have these triangular prisms on little rotating things, and she would physically turn them. And then I think later there was just things in front of them that she would take off. Now it's just a screen. She just taps it. She doesn't even change them. They change it as she taps it. Someone else pushes the buttons.
So she's just there for
She's just there
now.
to wear a great dress and have great gams. I shouldn't say that.
Gams.
Gams. Something my dad would say, but about a horse. Like gams on that thing. Stupid.
Look at that horse. It's got great gams.
Horse got a great ass.
Oh god. Tight little. Cut. You should just leave all the times you say cut.
Oh, all of them are going.
Run it again.
Run it again, Linda. Take it from the top. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being my first guest.
First and last.
First and last.
It's canceled.
Both Disney World and the black market are coming to kidnap us. And maybe my kindergarten teacher and that girl that I told you all slandered me in the media. Mm-hmm. So, would you like to plug yourself?
Oh, yeah.
You have one social to
I
tell
have
us
one,
about.
because I don't use anything else.
You don't even
I don't
really
even
use this
really
one.
use this one. But I will
I just send you memes and pictures of Susan Sarandon.
You do, which I appreciate. I know I don't respond a lot.
I follow Susan Sarandon. You don't.
How do you know?
And you're in love with Susan Sarandon.
How do you know that I don't?
Because you would have already seen these photos.
I don't go on Instagram.
That's true.
Anyways, my Instagram that I totally use is Captain Kylie SFX.
You can check the description for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And I will talk to you folks later in the credits. Well, wasn't that fun? Thank you so much for listening. You can find me and follow me. Follow me on Twitter at headphones S because I couldn't fit suggested in the username. And if you feel the need to email me, you can do that at headphonesuggested@gmail.com. You can find Kylie on Instagram at Captain Kylie SFX. And if you enjoyed the art for the cover of this, you can find the artist at Orky_art on Instagram, and there's a few other socials that you can find her on. So all of that is in the description, so check it out, and thank you so much.